Hey everybody, it's Glenn Ackerman with my 49ers San Francisco t-shirt. Super Bowl today, and just want to let you know who I'm rooting for. Good morning, everybody. So we got a great class planned today, and this is Glenn Ackerman Energy Awareness Training coming to you from the jungles of West Hollywood. With our normal, regular weekly class. And what we do in these classes is we discuss different topics from an energetic standpoint, from an energetic point of view. And I've been teaching energy awareness training for a number of years. And energy awareness training is all about learning the hidden energetic aspects of how our worlds work. And this is something that's made a profound difference in my life, and something that's really transformed my ability to be productive, be happy, find fulfillment, etc. And being in personal development for many, many years, trying to crack that code of how are we able to perform at our absolute best? You know, what is it that we need to do to be able to do that? So today we're going to be talking about a certain aspect of energy awareness as people start to come on. And that's going to be, again, excuse me, it's going to be energy awareness training with regards to the success secrets of Kobe Bryant. So we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be a fascinating class, and let me just give you, as people are coming on, just give you a little heads up about what energy awareness training is before we go into today's topic. You may have heard in science that Albert Einstein said everything's energy. Didn't really have I heard it in science class. It didn't really mean much to me until I heard another quote from Nikola Tesla that says, if you really want to understand the secrets and the mysteries of life, then you'll start to look at things in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's interesting. So everything's energy, and everything has a frequency, an energy, and a vibration. And as I just mentioned, so I've been trying to improve myself, trying to fix myself, trying to overcome issues for many years, and did so many personal development courses and trainings and read hundreds of books, etc., to try to be able to move to the next level of my potential, and to get rid of this ball and chain of anxiety and stress and worry and stuff that was trying to keep me down. And all out of 2 decades, over 20 years of trying this, when I discovered energy medicine, energy psychology, and that means looking at our human behavior, the way we think from an energetic perspective. That's when my life changed. And as I changed my life, I was able to help other people. And the things that I discovered became what I call energy awareness training. And that's the ability to uncover and discover a hidden world that runs below our awareness, but that affects everything that we do. In fact, most of us operate, at a certain level. Some say we operate at 10% of our full potential. Well, what if we can operate at 20% or at 30% or 40%? Do you think that would make a difference in our lives? Make a huge difference. And I always heard that, and I always read that in the books. We only use 10% of our, and I thought, well, how do you use the other 20? Or what if you use 50%, or more? You can only imagine. So this work is about being able to recognize and give vital information and technology on human performance, on self-development, and high performance coaching, on recognizing if we add the energetic components to the things that we do, we can transform our lives. It makes all the difference in the world. And that was the missing link. For many of you are into self-development and personal development, and I'm all for that. Because isn't that what we want to do every day? We want to get better. We want to get better. We want to improve ourselves. We want to have better lives. We want to achieve more. We want to do more. We want to have more. We want to experience more. And we all experience times when that's happening, and we all experience times when that's not happening, when there seems to be a block, or there seems to be resistance, or there seems to be behavior or patterns, that, we know we should be going this way, but we end up going the opposite way. Or we know what we should be doing, but we do the opposite. So energy awareness training is about being able to fill in the mystery, the blanks of why. Why are things the way they are? Why is my life the way it is? And why can't I have more? Why, even though I've been trying to overcome whatever your personal issues is, the headliners are fear, anxiety, worry, stress, bad memories, stuff that happened in your past. And you've been trying to overcome that, and you made a little progress, but you're not where you want to be. This is what energy awareness training addresses and solves. So I'm thrilled that you're here with me. Just a couple of nuggets here before we go into today's topic. And that is, so when we recognize energy, just to give you the analogy of it, it's like the iceberg. You have 10% above the water that you can see, 90% below the water that you can't see. You may have heard this if you're on my trainings. The Titanic wasn't sunk by the 10% it could see. It was sunk by the 90% it couldn't see. So in my work, I teach that which we can see, we can control. That which we can't see controls us. And this is the missing link to understanding why our lives are the way they are and why we do what we do. And for many of us, we want to make improvements. I know that I did. I'm sure you do too, that there are things that you want to overcome. There's habits that you want to dump, or there are things that you want to achieve. Well, when you become energetically aware, you start to recognize what these hidden energy patterns are, and they lie below our conscious surface. So it's like the 10% about the iceberg, it's what you can see, great. You can control what you can see, and if you could control it, you would control it. And if you could make that change, you would have made that change. But the reason why you haven't is because the cause and the operating system, your energetic operating system, which we all have, just like an iPhone has a OS and Microsoft has Windows, and everybody has a different operating system. You have a unique operating system inside you that works a certain way. No one ever taught you about that. No one ever taught me about this. So it's these discoveries that have opened up a whole new world of experience, of knowledge, of wisdom, and the ability to use that to translate into results, to move past limitations, to move past challenges. And we all have challenges, don't we? No matter who and where we are, we've got, some of you have relationship challenges, right? You want to improve that, or it's not going the way you want it to. Other people have money challenges. They never seem to have enough. Occasionally somebody has too many, but I don't see that too much, or I don't see that happening too much. Health problems, whatever it is, we're all dealing with something, and we're all trying to overcome that. And there's stuff that we haven't been able to overcome, and that's why it's an issue. It's an ongoing issue. So this is what we address here in energy awareness training. On my YouTube channel, I have over 100 videos of different aspects of energy awareness training, and I teach this personally. I coach one-on-one. I do group classes, and I have video modules that explain this too. So I'm all about getting this word out. And the word is that emotional and energetic suffering is not necessary. So if you think about the things that take us down, it's usually thoughts that morph into feelings, that morph into emotions, that morph into behaviors. Well, when you become energetically aware, you recognize that there are certain energies that want to help you, to enhance you, to heal you, to empower you, to move you into your ultimate full potential. And there are other energies that want to prevent that want to block that want to sabotage that. So there's a constant kind of tug of war inside of all of us of the energies that want to move up and the energies that want to move down, the energies that want to move forward and the energies that want us to be afraid and stay where we are or stay stuck. So I go over a lot of this in my other videos, excuse me, but I just want to mention just a highlight of what we're talking about, because this is going to come in handy today. All right, so that gives you a little bit of rundown. We're identifying everything in our experience on this planet is energy. People are energy. Places are energy. Activities are energy, right? Plants are energy. And there's energy that we can see, and there's a lot of energy that we can't see. So when you start to become aware of the factors that you can't see, but they're influencing you and controlling you, that's when you make a big breakthrough. That's when I made my breakthrough, when I was able to recognize and teach myself to see hidden energies and how they work in this world and, and how they manifest. And we know that in this life, they're booby traps. Right? They're the mistakes that we made, that, you know, we had good intentions. Maybe we got into a relationship we thought was going to work out and it didn't, or got into a job or a business deal we thought was going to work out and it didn't. Why? Well, because we didn't see the whole picture at the time that we got into it. And it was over time that we recognized, you know, this relationship isn't for me, or this business thing isn't what I thought it was, etc. And it didn't have the outcome we wanted to. So usually there's disappointment or heartache, and that takes a while to heal up. It takes a long time if you don't use energy tools. But this work is about being able to recognize energy and energy patterns so you can see what's going to happen, or the direction that something's going to take place before you do it. So you're getting into a relationship. Wouldn't it be helpful to know where that relationship is headed before you get involved, or if you're just starting, or an investment, a business investment, or how about hiring an employee? Boy, you know, if you're a business owner, I'm sure you've had the experience of somebody comes and they seem to be a good candidate, and you hire them, and they're great for a while, and then they turn sideways, and then you end up wishing you hadn't hired them. And then you say to yourself, if only I had known then what I know now, I never would have done that. So the power of energy awareness training is the ability to be able to read energies and internally and out into the world, because this is an energetic world we live in, and it's constantly coming to us as energy, masquerade as people, places, and things. So in my work, I recognize, just like Tesla had his quote, I've got my quote, and that is, energy has a power, a purpose, a frequency, a direction, and it gives off information. So when you learn how to see those things and recognize how the energies work, you have a powerful advantage over those who don't. And you can see things and recognize behaviors and patterns and directions that other people can't. And that translates into more happiness, more peace, more money, more fulfillment. So that's a little bit about energy awareness training. Feel free to contact me for more information, or check out the YouTube channels. And let's get started with today's topic. We've got a lot of people coming on here, so I just want to welcome everybody coming on. Hey, Ross, Rishi, welcome you guys. Carlos, appreciate you coming on. If you guys would just jot me down a little bit of hi on the chat, I'd appreciate it. Just hi and where you're from. If you have any questions about what we're going to be talking about today, or any of the topics, feel free. I'd love to hear from you, and it helps me get the broadcast out. Okay, so today's topic is energy awareness and the 10 success secrets of Kobe Bryant. Now, as all of you are aware of, this past week here in Los Angeles, we've been feeling very strongly the passing of Kobe and his daughter and the other people who were in the helicopter. It happened 1 week ago, exactly, roughly around this time. And I did a teaching last week, a whole class on how to deal with loss, on how to deal with what do you do when you get devastating news, and you're jolted, and your energy systems and your And what am I, let's just get clear for terms when I'm talking about energy. I'm not talking about fossil fuels or gas or windmills, and I'm not talking about fairies flying through the air. I'm talking about energy as your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your behaviors. That's what I'm talking about, because all of those things generate energies. Your thoughts generate energies. Your feelings generate energies. And those feelings, as they expand, generate into emotions. And those emotions translate into behaviors. So this is what I'm talking about when we're talking about energy. And there's a lot of different energetic aspects of life, because everything has an energetic aspect to it. And when you talk in this frame, you're looking at it from a different dimension, a different understanding. So I hope you can get that here in the class. So that's what I wanted to mention. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, by the way, to view that class, it's posted on my YouTube channel on how to deal with shock and devastating news and what happens when something happens that turns your life upside down. That is a very important energetic awareness aspect that if you haven't seen that, I really hope you do that, because that will help you, because we're not prepared. We're not prepared when we get shocking news like that. What do people do? Now, remember, just to reiterate, we have two energies that are affecting us. That we have hundreds actually, but under the two categories: the high vibration or the high frequency energy, which is happiness, joy, peace, abundance, creativity, love, all the good stuff. And we have a low vibration energy: anxiety, stress, worry, suffering. And that's the energies that we don't want. And these energies are always in play inside us and all around us in the world. And the purpose of the high vibration energy is to take you up. The purpose of the low vibration energy is to take you down. And these are active influences that visit us every day, that try to make their impact on us for their own agenda. The agenda of the high is to lift us up. The agenda of the low is to lift us down. And how all that works, I go into in other videos. But if you're new to my work, I just want you to know that this is how we navigate the world. Now, the high vibrational energies, they come to us as inspiration. They come to us as thoughts and feelings that we can be more, we can have more. We express love. We're fully present in the moment. It comes to us as happiness, joy, and peace. So if you're experiencing happiness, joy, and peace, you're in a high vibrational energy. And usually we don't think too much about it. You know, when you're happy and everything's going great, you don't go, oh, what energy am I in? You know, it just comes natural. But when we go into the low vibration energy, when we've got these tormenting thoughts or these feelings that are pulling us down, or these emotions that are trying to pull us literally down, that's a low vibration energy. And these energies can hack into our thoughts, into our emotions, and they do every day. And how they work and how all of that is a fascinating class that I did that's on the channel. But just to let you know that these are the energies that we're working with. And everybody experiences them, whether they want to call it these definitions or not. We all experience the tug of war, the yin and yang, so to speak, the positive and the negative. I don't use positive and negative terms so much because I don't think that really ever helped anyone. You know, if somebody's down, I mean, can you imagine telling Kobe's widow, just think positive? You know, he'd probably give you a smack across the chops. There's more that needs to take place with that. So people, you know, usually don't process it's positive, it's negative. What I do in this work is talk about the energy fields and the direction that they go in. That's the power of this. So we know in basic energy awareness training that we want to maximize and be in a high vibration energy field. That's where we want to be. That's what we want to do. And yet we also recognize that there's another energy field that's trying to pull us out of that, that's trying to take us down, that tries to block us being in that high vibratory field. And what we learn in energy awareness training is how that that sinister energy works, and it's so subtle. And it hacks into our thoughts, feelings, and emotions with the purpose of trying to take us down. Now, we have complete control over these energies, especially when you're in alignment with the high vibration energy, called by a lot of different names. I'll call it the high vibration energy. But the low vibration is very subtle, very sneaky in how it works. And it's really good at destabilizing us. And it uses logic to do it. So I find that a lot of my very intellectual friends, who are as smart as a whip and know the logic of everything, tend to be the most emotionally disturbed or upset or affected by low vibration energy, because you can't use intellect to deal with energy, because we live in a linear, logical world and a non-linear, illogical world. And these are both realities that occur simultaneously. So we can figure out stuff that can be figured out, math or basic life stuff like going to the store or putting gas in the car or doing whatever job that you do. But the uncertain factors, which are why do things work out the way they do? Why do relationships work out and then they don't work out? Why is your business successful and then it's not successful? This whole thing. And all of that can be explained, for the most part, energetically. There are different levels of understanding, but it all can be explained energetically. Okay. So more on that in other class. This class is about Kobe. And I'm mentioning it to him because it's been in our thoughts all week long. And so I did, as I always look at things from an energetic aspect. What's the energy around something? I'm not interested in the logic around it. I'm interested in the energy around something, because it's the energy that makes something work or not work. If the energy's there, relationships, if there's a lot of high vibration energy in a relationship, it's going to show up as success. It's going to show up as positivity. If there's low vibration energy there, then there's going to show up as chaos, as confusion, as resentment, or just being out of sync. So, as I mentioned, everything has an energy and a frequency to it, and you can see that in sports events. You see that there was a couple Super Bowls back. Oh, by the way, I don't know, those of you coming on, showing my allegiance here. Super Bowl day, 49ers, go Niners. In a Super Bowl that happened, about 3 or 4 years ago, who was in that? The Seahawks and some other team. Anyway, so the Super Bowl starts, and it's almost a blowout. The first team gets ahead 30 points. You think, it's like 30 to nothing at halftime, right? And was it the Seahawks and Patriots? Maybe it's the Patriots. Seahawks and Patriots. Anyway, this thing's done. It's going to be a blowout, right? Because in the first half, all the energy went one way. Well, I hung around and watched the halftime show and just decided to look into the second half. And the second half, it was a whole new ball game. Now, I think it was the Patriots. They just started scoring at will. And the other team didn't score any more points. Long story short, the team that was getting their butt kicked in the first half came back and outscored the team in the second half. Now, what was the difference there? Same team, same players, same field, same ball, same crowd. The difference was the energy. Something happened energetically to the team, to the Patriots in the second half that they didn't have in the first half. And it wasn't something physical. It was something non-physical. It was what I call energy. It was the energy shifts. So energy is so powerful in everything that we do, because there's an energetic aspect to everything that we're doing. Okay, back to today's topic. So this week, since Kobe's been in the news, I decided to do some in-depth research about him and his life, and what made him so extraordinary. You know, he'll go down as one of the top basketball players of all time. Now, there are other guys who are trying to be top basketball players. You know, why aren't they on the top? You know, there's a couple of hundred players in the NBA. What made him the one that captured all those championships, that captured the MVP, that made him so special? Well, as I heard him being interviewed and read about him, there's 10 things that came up that I want to mention to you that I think that it absolutely inspired me, and especially with energy awareness, really echoes the power of what he was and what he did. So let's go over them, and I think it will inspire you. If you didn't get a chance to say hi to me on the chat, I'd appreciate you just going, hi, Glenn, or any questions that you have, or just doing a shout out where you're from on the chat. Appreciate that. All right, the first one is Kobe was able to create an awesome vision of what he wanted. And in that vision that he wanted, he was able to make it so compelling. Talk about energetically, that the energy of what he wanted just filled his whole vibration with desire, with, wow, this is what I want. This is what I envision myself to be. This is the one thing that enables me to get up early in the morning, practice that empowering vision. Okay, now, lots of people have empowering visions, but what he was able to do, the first thing, was to be able to create the painting and the portrait of what he wanted so vividly that he could feel it energetically in his bones. And see, that's the difference between, oh, wouldn't it be nice? Gee, I like to be a basketball champion. Maybe I should, go shoot a few hoops down at the local high school. Versus this magnificent obsession that he had of wanting to be a champion. So after he had that, and he had the ability, his father was a basketball player, so that inspired him. And I think his uncle was a basketball player too. So he had it running in the family. And that could be a plus, it could be a minus, because you can say, oh, it runs in the family. It does run in the family, but not everybody has the talent that their parents do. If you look in the NBA, the NFL right now, there's a lot of sons of quarterbacks. I'm not going to mention any names, but there are a lot of sons of famous quarterbacks that are trying to make it, in the NFL. Guys who were famous 20 years ago, superstar quarterbacks and running backs. Their sons are trying to follow in their footsteps. Most of them don't make it. And why don't they? Well, maybe they don't have the talent that Pop had, but Kobe was a different breed. Kobe said, you know what? This is what I'm going to choose to do, and I'm going to start from day one to go into this. Now, let me preface this by saying this is a skill. This is a job. It was a career. It was an identity that he wanted. He wasn't just talking about being a better golfer. He was talking about something that he wanted to excel at, something that became his number one motivation for living. Now, that might be a little intense for the average person, but we're going over what made Kobe Kobe. So that first thing that he started was that inspiring vision. Now, the second thing, as I was hearing him being interviewed, is he recognized that there was a price to pay for achieving what he wanted. He knew to be the best basketball player in the world, or one of them at least, was going to mean that he couldn't spend a lot of time watching TV or cruising the boulevard with his friends, right? Or going to stuff that normal kids do. That there was going to be a price that he was going to pay, and he was willing to pay it, and he was willing to pay it every day. So when we're going for excellence, and you might not want to be the best basketball player in the world, but maybe there's some skill that you wanted to develop. Maybe there's some magnificent goal or dream or vision that you wanted to have for yourself, that you want to get going on this, but it's kind of stuck. Well, these are the traits that Kobe used, and this is the energy that he used to make this thing happen. So he had that big vision, and then he recognized there was a price to pay with that. So what he did was he created the commitment to pay that price, and not knowing exactly what it would be, because it evolves over time. So the third thing that he did was he created a plan, and he created not just a blueprint, but he organized his life so that everything that he would do would feed that goal. So daily habits of sleep, of nutrition, of training, of looking at film, etc. That became a way of life for him, even as a kid. I don't know if he was looking at film when he was 12 years old, but he recognized that in order to achieve a high goal, he was going to have to pay a high price for that, and he was willing to pay it. So sometimes I'm like, well, yeah, is that common sense? It's common sense, but not common practice. When we see, like, for example, I'm a pretty good piano player, and not a bad guitar player either. And whenever I play out, you might see some of the videos that I post. People come up to me and they say, "Oh man, how long have you been playing?" And I know they want me to say, "Oh, just a few years," but I tell them I've been playing my whole life, since I was a kid, and I'm still learning. They go, "Oh, really? Oh, like this." So when people see a skill, like, "Wow, I'd like to have that." I said, "Really? Would you be willing to, sit in a room for, thousands of hours honing that practice, while you maybe would rather be out on a picnic or going to the beach?" Maybe, maybe not. But Kobe was willing to do that, and he recognized that this goal was his goal. Might not be his next door neighbor's goal or his best friend's goal or the kids at school. This was his goal, and he knew that he had to be true to that and give it everything he had. And the process of getting that goal leads you to a lot of different places. He started, he was born here, and then he moved to Italy, and he was playing in Italy, didn't know the language as a kid, and still had that drive to shoot, to keep shooting, working on his game. Then he came back here as a teenager. I think when he was 13, lived in Philadelphia, said didn't know anybody here. Kids didn't particularly like him. He was on his own for, socially at school for a while, kept working on his game. Just knew what he wanted and kept working on his game. So he created daily habits and daily schedules that would have him progress, whether he was working on his jump shot, whether he was working on free throws, whether he was working on his leg strength. He kept moving on that. So that's the key thing, creating daily habits to be able to enforce that. Now, it's interesting when we're talking about energy. When Kobe went after greatness and to improve his game, the energy that he had, if you hear him speak about it or demonstrate, was enormous. It wasn't I'd like to. It was we're doing this thing. I mean, you could feel like, whoa, this guy's intense. And he was intense because he knew what he wanted. He was willing to pay the price, and his energy was just over the top. Now, some would say, "Oh, look, the guy's a maniac. He's a fanatic." Yeah, he was. He was in the beginning, and he kept up that pace. So people say, "Well, I got other things to do." People say, "Oh, I got this, and I can't." Okay, no one's saying that you have to be Kobe, and most people aren't going to be Kobe. But we can learn from the way he operated and his method, what I call his method of operation. So he brought enormous energy, enormous desire, enormous forward movement, almost attack. He would attack his goal and his purpose every day. First of all, when he woke up, he knew his purpose. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he had to do to get there, and he had a schedule. So he was locked and loaded and had a precise way of being able to get there. But again, what's the difference between him and somebody else? It was the energy. See, there's resistance to when you pick something and you want to do something. Nobody taught us this. I wish they had. But whatever you want to choose, whatever you choose to do in life, there's going to be resistance to it. Have you noticed? The New Year's resolution thing. We just moved into February here. By now, about 95% of everybody who made New Year's resolutions is fallen by the wayside and is off the wagon. Those are the statistics. 95%. And they got great excuses. I got busy, and the weather was weird, and my kids are back in town, or whatever it is. Great excuses, but the New Year's resolutions are off the table now, and they're kind of like let yourself down. And it doesn't feel too good for some people, and some people are still doing it. God bless you. Some people are still improving themselves. But why do so many people fall by the wayside? That's the question I ask. Is it the simple answer? They just didn't want it, or they didn't want it bad enough? It's the energy of forward movement, the high vibrational energy to go after that goal was not as strong and could not overcome the low vibration energies pulled to get you out of that. This is really powerful, folks. This is a nugget for you. That's why the New Year's resolutions have fallen by the wayside. It's the energy that you bring to it, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how you're behaving, and the environment that you're putting yourself into. We'll talk about that in a minute here. It brings the energy so that when you show up strong. So when Kobe showed up, he showed up, daily to do his training with about 10 times the energy of somebody else. So where somebody else might be thinking, do I really want to get up early and do that practice? Kobe's like, the buzzer's going, let's go. Boom. No two ways about it. There it is. And it's I guess it's the difference energetically, the energetic desire on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1, you're somewhat interested in your goal. 10, you're 10 plus with it. Whatever it takes right now, let's get it done. Let's go for it. And most people who are going after goals are 5 or below. You're interested, you want to do it, you're going to take some action to do it, you're going to make something. And maybe some of you are 6 and 7. Kobe was a 10 plus. 10 plus. The thought to not practice or not keep his diet or not to take care of himself so that he could show up strong wasn't even a thought. It was like, what? Not, you got to be kidding me. Of course I'm going to show up. Of course I'm going to be there. So he brought an enormous energy. He was able to create a high vibratory energy inside him to be able to motivate himself, to be able to project his thoughts, feelings, and behaviors into what he had to do every day. There was no, do I wanna, like this and like that. And that's the difference between being able to succeed and not succeed. It's the energy that you bring to that. And how do we create that? We create that every day. I show you an energy awareness training every day to do exercises to nullify the low vibration energy, to take that part in your mind. I call it the ego mind, or the destructor, the inner, I call it the inner destructor or the inner terrorist, that voice in your mind that's always so negative. It's negative about this, it's negative about that. It doesn't want you to leave your comfort zone. It wants you to put off, the hard work and take the easy way out and all that. So many of us listen to that. Kobe wouldn't listen to it. What? No way, gone. And he developed the discipline to do what we teach in energy awareness training, to nullify that low vibration or that negativity, and to empower the high vibration energy of potential, of action, of achievement. Whoa. And that's what he was living. That's what he was feasting on. So that's number 4, creating a massive energetic movement to move forward, kind of like they call an urgent obsession. Just, hey, I'm up, there's things to do, let's do it. Now, some people could say, well, maybe Kobe was just a type A, one of those guys who just got to push, and I'm a type B, I'm more laid back and like that. Okay, whatever type you are, there are certain things that you need to do to succeed, and certain principles that take place, whatever type you are. And what I just mentioned about the energy that you bring to something, as I mentioned, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your behaviors all create an energy. They all create an energy that vibrates out from you. Whether you know it or not, you're an energetic sending and receiving vehicle. So I have a saying that says, light doesn't come to you, it comes from you. Light doesn't come to you, it comes from you. What does that mean? That means that the energies that the energy frequencies that your thoughts and your emotions and your behaviors are putting out, good, bad, or ugly, putting them out there, they're going to come back. And your energy is going to be attracting like-minded energy. You've heard of the law of attraction. There's science to that. There's science that energy attracts its frequency. So without going into it too much, like attracts like. Pretty simple to understand. So the thoughts that Kobe had, high vibration. The emotions, high vibration. The behaviors, high vibration energy. No time for any thoughts of procrastination, doubt, worry, fear. And I'm sure they tried to hit him. He didn't have time for them. He created such a strong energy vibe that it affected everybody around him. And that's number 5, creating the energy vibe around you. So people say, well, how do you stay motivated? How did he stay motivated with what he was doing? And how can I stay motivated? Well, one of the things that he did is he puts himself around people who have the same drive, the same motivation levels that he does, or that feeds off of him. And that's why it's so important, the people that we hang out with. We all have high vibration energy friends, and we have low vibration energy friends too. So I teach and recommend you hang out with your high vibration energy friends, and don't spend too much time with your low vibration. Why? Because that energy feeds you. When you're around people who are positive and who are active and who are doing stuff, man, it rubs off on you. You hear about your friends, they just got this done, or they just went to this place, or achieved this goal. Wow. It lifts you up. It inspires you. When you're around low vibration energy people, how you doing? I'm places and working out and my job, like that. You can feel the energy. You can feel a pull down, like you don't want to go there. So it's important who you hang out with. And Kobe always sought out the best people. He would call, people out of the clear blue sky. He would call coaches. He would call celebrities. He would call people who had something that he could learn from. Hi, this is Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. Wonder if you could help me with this, or you could help me with that, or give me some insight on that. I love that. And he reached out to people and asked for help. He wasn't afraid to do it. He says, I'm trying to improve myself. That's a cool thing about him. He was humble. People say, oh, Kobe was kind of arrogant. Yeah, maybe, but he was also humble enough to ask for help. And he also sought out the best people who could help him. So he always kept those people around him and put him and kept the high vibrational energy, so that he had training partners. When another guy did it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was training for the Mr. Olympia. he was a pretty driven guy himself, and he was in the same, he had a very similar vibe that Kobe did. And, all around him were his training partners that were spurring him on and moving him. There was like a camaraderie of people who had decided that they wanted high achievement, and they recognized that there was a price to pay, and they had to be in that energy of that as much as possible. So Kobe kept himself around people who were, even in the off season, kept himself around people who were high achievers and people who had one thing, a championship for the Lakers. That's what he was all about. Now, another thing that I learned about, something cool about Kobe, is he was a master of time. Kobe was a master of time. And what do I mean by that? Well, we all have scheduled activities, but Kobe realized that the more time he spent training, the more effective he was going to be, and the more of an advantage that he would have over his competition. So he mentioned that during basketball season, the average guy would train 1 to 2 times a day, in the morning workout, afternoon workout. And Kobe says, that means if the average guy's 2 and 2, I want to do 3. So Kobe would get up at 4 a.m. and do his first workout. So while the normal guy would get 2 workouts, so that's 2 workouts a week times 7. So that's 14 workouts they get. Kobe get 3 workouts a day times 7, that's 21. And over time, the gap between 2 workouts and 3 workouts started to get huge. And he said, that's where I left my competition behind. I was willing to do more and to go out of my comfort zone and to be able to rack up more training sessions, more exposure to working on my fundamentals, working on my weaknesses than the other guys did. So why am I head and shoulders over most of the other players? Because I train more than they did. Because while they did 2, I did 3. And over time, we're talking about, he had hundreds of hours per year more than the other guys who did what was expected of them. So that's where he had the major advantage, by being able to use time wisely. And the second thing he mentioned, he says, I never did anything that I didn't feel was going to get me towards my goal. He says, I wouldn't spend time, goofing around and, racing cars. And as he says, I have a lot of interests, but I knew in order for me to achieve excellence, I had to stay focused. I couldn't let myself get distraction. And distraction is the enemy coming as a friend. Wow, that really rang my bell. Distraction is an enemy coming as a friend that says, skip training for today. Let's go to the beach, or you can just do 2 sessions today instead of 3, or let's go out drinking and celebrate and have a good time. Like the friends probably would enjoy doing that, but that's not on the program. And he didn't have time for that. So in the steps to becoming a champion, his lifestyle was unlike any, quote, normal people, because he wasn't normal. He was abnormal, because he was able to achieve higher goals and higher outcomes because his performance level to achieve that was 2-3 times more than the average person. So using time wisely, using the whole day. I mean, he thought in terms of, there was no, work from 9 to 5 and I quit. He used the morning, the afternoon, the early evenings, the late evenings, the middle of the night, the early mornings, etc. You figure, when did he sleep? Well, I'm sure he did. He found a way to do it. He's probably, sleeping when the rest of us are kind of kicking back after a hard day's work. And then he's up 4 o'clock. Guys up 4 o'clock in the morning taking a workout. Kind of extreme, but that's high performance. And that's something that was pretty impressive, using time wisely. Now, number 7, he held himself accountable. So he had a schedule of what his activities were. And he was able to write down, I'm at the gym at 4 a.m., I got team meetings at 7, look, views, afternoon workout, pre-game workout, game, etc. So he held himself accountable to his schedule, and it was a 24-hour schedule. It wasn't just a 9 to 5, it was a 24-hour schedule. And not only did he hold himself accountable, but he had not one, not two, but 3 coaches. He had 3 coaches coaching him. One coach would work with them on film. They go over films and how the triangle offense works. And then he said, then he had another coach for strength training. So he had a coach for strength training. He had another conditioning coach, and then he had the regular coach. Phil. Most of the time it was Phil Jackson teaching him, the fundamentals of how the Laker scheme worked, how their game plan worked. So we had a lot of coaches, right? And he was getting a lot of feedback. Coaching is very important if you want high levels of performance, because there's only so much you can get out of yourself, and a coach can see things that you can't, and a coach can pull you higher than you can pull yourself. And I have a coach. I have a couple of coaches, actually, and I'm a coach. Figure that one out. I'm a coach, and I have coaches. Why? Because it's like the surgeon who operates on himself. He's not going to do that. The surgeon needs surgery. He's going to have a surgeon work on him. Usually a law client has a lawyer has another lawyer defend him. Same thing with the coach. As human beings, we all have a limited perspective of how we can see ourselves. Now, when you open yourself energetically, you can see more, but it's better to have someone that his job is to look at you and go, here's where you're doing well, and here's where you need improvement. And it's usually not what you want to hear. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear, you need improvement up. That's not up to speed. Kind of twinges the ego, but it's important if you want to grow. So holding yourself accountable and being accountable to your coaches, and ultimately you're accountable to he said, I'm accountable to the fans. I was listening to him last night. He said, people pay hard-earned money to come see me, and I owe it to them to be my absolute best for them, not just for myself. So there's no taking the easy way out. No, these people are coming and they're expecting to see top-level basketball, and they're expecting to see me at my highest performance. I'm not going to let them down. And he never did. Amazing. I think that's why people feel so close to him. Now, let's go to number 8. We got 2 more. 8, 9, and 10, actually 3 more. And that was, in any kind of goal or any kind of project that you're doing, you always have to expect there's going to be some resistance. You have to expect it's going to be a give and take sometimes, because life isn't linear. And we were brought up to think that life is linear. We were brought up to think that everything's supposed to make sense. A plus B equals C. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Yeah, that's true sometimes, and sometimes it's not true. It's the law of paradox, and one of the energetic laws I teach. Sometimes things are the way they seem to be. Sometimes they're not the way they seem to be. Sometimes if you do a certain formula, it works out. Sometimes if you use a certain formula, it doesn't work out. Why? Because there are hidden variables that we don't see. There are things operating in higher dimensions that our eyes aren't aware of, because we're living in primarily operating in a 3-dimensional world. So science says that we have 10 or 12 dimensions in this world. So that's the case. We're seeing 20%, 30% of what's going on, missing 70. So that means that we can't see everything that's going on. So that's why stuff comes out of the clear blue sky. Go, hey, why'd this happen? Or hey, that's not supposed to be that way. Well, it is. And that's the way it shows up. So part of the energetic laws and energy awareness is to expect, in a journey that you have, whatever it is, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a business, whether it's a a career, whether it's a sports objective, there's going to be resistance. There's going to be setbacks. And you have to expect that and be resilient enough to be able to weather the storms. And because we weren't taught to how to deal with resistance and frustration and setbacks, that's when a lot of people quit. When it gets tough and when it's no fun anymore, when it's just hard freaking work to move forward, that low vibration energy says, what do I need this for? It's too much of a hassle. Let's dump this. Yeah, wouldn't it be better? I mean, you gave it your best shot. Now let's just quit. So if you've ever done that, and I certainly have, because I listen to that voice. And how do you feel when you quit something that you have your heart set on or that you really want? You don't feel good when you quit. You feel disappointed. You feel frustrated. You feel it's all low vibration energy. So that's one of the key things I teach my students, especially my business people, my business leaders and CEOs who use energy awareness training for business, because they want to understand the energetic laws, because this applies to love, business, health, you name it, whatever it is. And part of that is being able to expect resistance, to be able to expect setbacks. Now, a couple examples for Kobe. In one of the early NBA finals that he was in, he shot 2 air balls, and I think they lost that finals. I'm not a Laker expert, but just on what I was observing, he shot 2 air balls, and man, he got a lot of crap for it in the finals. Shooting 2 big, where they needed a 3-pointer, and he took the shots, and they were air balls. Not you know what an air ball is. I mean, it's like, oh my God, it's embarrassing. And when they talked about it, they said, well, how'd you feel when you shot those air balls? He goes, it sucked when it happened to me, but I embraced it. I said, why did I shoot an air ball? He goes, I'm a good shooter. How'd that happen? Why did it happen? And how do I make sure that never happens again? So we analyzed it and realized that he hadn't done enough strength training in his legs. And his legs didn't have the endurance in the fourth quarter that he needed to be able to hit his shots. So immediately rectified the problem, got his legs stronger, and never shot an air ball again, to my knowledge, at least in the finals. So that's one thing. And then you guys know that he ruptured his Achilles tendon. And that was a major setback for him. Major. He was trying to win an NBA championship, and he ruptured his Achilles heel. And I think that year he was probably carrying the whole team, with his performance. And he was out for a long, long time. And he said he went through a dark night of the soul. He said, I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to play basketball again. My career might be over. I might affect the way I walk. He was pretty down and depressed about it. But Kobe, being Kobe, decided to attack his rehabilitation the same way he attacked his goal to be a world-class basketball player, and went through the pain and went through the rehabilitation. And what did the doctors say? He recovered about 3 times faster than the average person did. And he was so ready to go play half the time. The doctor said, no, you better be careful. He goes, no, it feels good. So he utilized setbacks, and he utilized disappointments, and he utilized resistance to be able to move forward. And that's the thing that I remind people to in energy awareness training, that life isn't linear, that it moves in waves, and it moves in particles and waves. So sometimes you're moving up, sometimes you're moving down, sometimes you're moving up, sometimes you're moving down. But if you're staying in a high vibration energy frequency, the direction of where you're going is going to maintain pretty much the direction to stay moving up. Even though you may have dips in your energy, it's going to continue moving up. But that's why it's so important every day to clean and clear your energy. So what I teach people to do every morning: clean and clear your energy, so you get rid of the junk, the stress, the worry, the thoughts, anything that could potentially pull you down. Get that stuff out. It's an energy, you know? So like, for example, if you had a bad day yesterday, if you were stressed out or something happened or you got disappointed or something, if you don't clean that energy, it goes to bed with you. And guess what? It wakes up with you. And guess what? It affects the rest of your day, the next day, and the next day after that. Because the low vibration energy that we have, it sticks to us. You know, just like sweat sticks to our body, and the sweat doesn't go away by itself. You know, when we get sweaty, we take a workout, you know, we're perspiring, we're all sweaty, maybe even stinky. It doesn't go away by itself. It doesn't go, well, if I just go to bed tonight, it'll be gone by tomorrow. No, it won't. Or maybe if I just ignore it in a week, it'll be gone. No, it won't. It's going to stay there and it's going to expand because all energies expand. So, you know, the sweat and the stink expands. It doesn't go away by itself, right? That's why I got to take a shower. It's the same thing with your energy. When you experience low vibration energy, fear, doubt, worry, stress, upset, when things happen to you that upset you, when you get bad news, that's an energy that attaches itself to you. You can feel it. You can feel the energy of, you know, everybody this whole week, you know, you're talking to somebody and how you doing? Have a nice day. Yeah. You heard about Kobe? Oh yeah, man, bad news. Isn't that happening? It's horrible. Like, right? Just one word, energy collapses. So this is the power of being energetically aware. You must learn how to clean your energy every single day if you don't want it to accumulate. Now, when people go into places of depression or down states, I know there's a couple, one person on the call here went through a tremendous down state for a long time. You know, why? Why did he go through that down state? Because whatever thought, feeling, or emotion created the energy, that low vibration energy, that energy expanded and kept moving. Remember, thoughts expand into feelings, feelings expand into emotions, emotions expand into behaviors. And what is our life but an accumulation of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors? So when people are down for a long time, it's an accumulation of low vibration energy. And you've heard people go, oh, I'm in a funk, or I guess I'm depressed these days, or I guess, you know, I'm in some kind of rut. Translated, that you're in an energy frequency, a low vibration energy frequency that's pulling you down and wanting to keep you in that rut. And it's 50-50 whether you'll get out of that rut or you'll go down even further. That's why people who are in low vibration energy, anxiety, worry, stress, depression, fear, worry, doubt, you got to neutralize that immediately or else it's going to expand. And as I mentioned before, there are 3 types of low vibration energy. There's the stuff that we have to deal with every day, daily, you know, annoyances. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. There's a line at the grocery store. You know, they're out of gas at the gas station or whatever. Then there's the regularly occurring low vibration energy. You know, maybe you got somebody at work you're not getting along with, or maybe some people moved into your apartment or making noise upstairs. You got to deal with this ongoing thing. Okay, that's a low vibration energy to deal with. But the granddaddy of them all is the historic low vibration energy. Historic low vibration energy inside us that is our energetic operating system. I call it EOS, energetic operating system. We all have it. And that's the accumulation that you came into this world with. We all came in with an energetic operating system, which means that there's energies that we came in there, whether it's from our ancestors, whether it's from past lives, whether we got it in the birth canal, whatever it is, we all come in as human beings with issues and with tanks of low vibration energy. And part of our journey here is to awaken to that fact and go, whoa, you know, I got stuff that I got to work on. I've got things that I don't understand. That's what happened to me. I call it an awakening. An awakening is, whoa, there's more going on than meets the eye. There's more going on than I can see here. And I notice patterns, I notice thoughts, I'm noticing things that keep occurring that I don't want. And I wouldn't choose them to be reoccurring, but they do anyway. Again, could be relationship patterns, could be health patterns, could be financial patterns, but whatever it is, it keeps on coming back. You think it goes away, you think you got a handle, here it comes back again. So that's the awakening to have you become energetically aware, to have you go, there's a process going on more than meets the eye, because I haven't been able to beat this thing. So what's going on? Where's it coming from? And how do I deal with it? That's what energy awareness is about. Understanding where it comes from, what its purpose is, how it operates in you, and how to dissolve that and move out of that low frequency into higher vibrational frequency. Okay. All right. Shout out to the gallery here. Is this making sense to you? If it is, give me a shout out. If it makes no sense to you, give me a shout out. Give me a shout out anyway, just to let me know that you're here, and give me some feedback. This is an interactive, while we're live, this is an interactive broadcast here. Welcome any questions, any inputs that you have on the material that we're going over. Just about through here, just got two more, and they're really important. So I didn't show you my flowers today, you guys. I always show you every week. Got some beautiful, what color is this, magenta? Got magenta and a little orange. Beautiful. Always keep flowers around. Why? High vibrational energy. Keep them around the house. Make the house look better, and I even give them away. It makes people feel good. Okay, input. Anybody, questions, comments? High vibration energy water to a high pH alkaline 9.5. Okay, talking about the energy success secrets of Kobe Bryant. By the way, what I've done about that this week is what I talked about in the class last week, if you hadn't seen that, in which part of our ability to be energetically trained is the ability to deal with upsetting news and upsetting things happening, so that it doesn't take us down. See, if we're not trained, what happens is that you get news like this, and it upsets you. And not only does it upset you because you lost Kobe, but what it does is it reactivates any grief energy or loss energy that you ever had about anybody else in your life too. That's why some people get hysterical, or they just go into this real deep, low vibration energy, grief state. So energetically speaking, how we handle that is this. Just how I handled it. It shocked me. I love the guy. I never met him, but he was an icon here in town. And more often than not, it wasn't just basketball. See, because the great ones, whatever their sport is, when they're great, they transcend their sport and they become a role model, or they become a figure of inspiration. They become a reminder of somebody who's a champion, somebody who's extraordinary. Who else is like it? Was Muhammad Ali. He was the best boxer in the world for his time. All time, I don't know, but at the time he was so good, and yet he transcended boxing. He became a world ambassador. Think about that. From a guy who made his living beating people up with his fists, in a mean sport, blood sport. He transcended that and became a figure of, in his last decade of life, promoting world peace, promoting brotherhood against a brotherhood between religions, bringing the world together, bringing compassion and kindness from boxing. Kobe did the same thing. He hadn't gotten to that level of Ali yet, because he was, Ali by that time I think he was 60, and Kobe was 41, but he was on the way, and he made people feel good. That's why the whole world's mourning him. Not just the basketball player, but the person that we're talking about today, the person that he was, that he focused his energy on being a world-class basketball player. He could have been a world-class anything. Could have been a world-class golfer, or maybe baseball player, or maybe scientist, if he had the interest, whatever it is, these skills that he had are applicable to anything. So what I want everybody to know is that this isn't just a formula for becoming a great basketball player. This is the formula for becoming great at whatever you do. And there's going to come a time when you're building your career or you're building what it is that you want, and at whatever time in life it is. Could be, earlier in your life, like Kobe. It could be midlife, could be late in life. Doesn't matter. These are still the principles that you have if you want to concentrate and do something extraordinary. Because extraordinary requires extraordinary effort. So, number 9, what Kobe did was he would challenge himself every day. Challenge himself every day to do something, give himself a task or something, a task or a goal or something that was outside of his comfort zone, where he would have to move through the place of resistance, or he would have to move into a place where he needed to use his focus, his energy, his intention, all of those things together to move through where he is now, not having it, being it, or doing it, move through that space into be able to achieving it. So that's something that we can all use. I do it every day. It's a challenge for you to do something, even if it's kind of mundane. One day for me, it was cleaning my email. Doesn't take a lot of effort, but it's just kind of a pain and you don't want to do it, and you should do it, or book work or whatever that thing is, you should do it and you're going to do it someday, but you're not. No, that's the thing that you need to challenge yourself with every single day. Whether it is to go someplace, do something that there's a part of you that says, no, I don't want to do it. No, I'll do it later. That's the low vibration energy part of you that wants to sabotage your efforts. So when you get in the habit of, okay, what am I going to do today that's going to challenge me, that's going to get me out of my comfort zone? Maybe it's just short. Maybe it's mowing the lawn. You have a beautiful day outside and Super Bowl's on and the lawn needs to be mowed. You don't want to mow the lawn. You want to take it. It's that one little thing where you're able to move across the uncomfortable zone and achieve that, and then get the energy. You go out to mow the lawn, for example, 15 minutes. Let's say it's 15 minutes. Great. 15 minutes. You can avoid it, and that 15 minutes is going to be hanging with you all day and into tomorrow and next week. And it's a heavy energy of the I shoulda, I gotta, one of these, versus lawn done, let's execute, get it done, and then we can enjoy the rest of the day. That's the thing I noticed about Kobe. He never resisted what he had to do. He attacked it. Instead of like his rehab process, which there's a video on that about his rehab process. Man, it was painful. The guy, he went into the pain zone every day. I'm sure he didn't want to. Who wants to go into the pain zone? But he ran to the pain zone. He didn't avoid it. He ran to it because that was the only way to get where he wanted to go. So he challenged himself. So I encourage you to challenge yourself with one thing. Maybe it's go to the gym, or maybe it's wash the car, or maybe it's balance your checkbook. Whatever it is, it's that thing that you should do. You just put it off and you'll get around to it. When you make a conscious choice to write that one thing down in the beginning of your day, and then end your day being able to cross that off your list, go, yeah, got it done. When you cross that off your list, you feel so good. You are actually creating more high vibrational energy, because when you achieve a goal, you feel good. You can count on yourself. You challenge yourself, and you made the challenge. It feels good. And high vibration energy creates what? More high vibrational energy. So when you don't get it done, you go, I didn't get it done today. You don't feel good. You're like, I could have done better. I could have done more. And that's how Kobe measured himself, by what he did and what he didn't do. And he didn't like that feeling at all of not coming through or not getting it done. So he made sure that he attacked all the things that he had to do as soon as possible. And wow, that's definitely a mind shift from what I'm used to doing. So challenging yourself every day, moving through the resistance process, so that when so you're fully aware of how the energies are working in that resistance process. And again, if they have a power over you, then dissolve it. Then what I call energetically process this and release it so it has no power. You learn how to do these tools in energy awareness training to be able to take low vibration energy and neutralize it immediately. Thoughts, neutralize immediately. Weird feelings, neutralize immediately. Emotions, neutralize immediately. Behaviors, if you find yourself doing something, neutralize. And I'm not just talking thoughts, I'm talking about building up the energy to be able to propel you into the place and the direction that you know you should go into. Okay, last one, here we go. Kobe, probably the thing I was the most impressed with is he was able to find a way to energize, motivate, and uplift himself massively through every day. And because he was able to do that, he was able to energize, he was able to uplift, he was able to motivate himself in order to move into that direction with massive energy. Not, I really should do this. No, it's like, let's do that. It's one of the things I teach in my training. You know, I teach people every day you have to make a decision. Either you're going to take back your energy and control your energy, or the low vibration energy is going to come around and try to control you. It's either one or the other every day. So when you make a decision, you know, I a line that says, I've decided I'm committed to taking back my energy to high vibration now. A big hand clap. It's that kind of intensity. That's energy. It's not just a thought. It's an energy. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. And that energy propels you one direction or the other. So if you're conscious about moving that forward, you'll move forward. If you're like, that's an energy. It's a weak energy. And all weakness goes into low vibration energy. All weakness goes into low vibration energy. Because when you're weak, you can be dominated. When your immune system is weak, the viruses, God forbid, the germs can take advantage of you. When your mental energy is weak, the low vibration energy can do a number on you, try to pull you with low vibration energy thoughts. So we want to stay strong, but we want to stay strong in alignment, not faking it, but in alignment. So when you're in a high vibrational energy and you're in that high vibe frequency, that frequency is strong. Your energy is strong. People are picking it up. They're picking up your energy. Remember what I said in the beginning of the broadcast? Your thoughts and emotions and behaviors aren't a secret to you. You think they are. Oh, I don't want people to know what I'm thinking. But it generates an energy. And that energy people pick up on. In fact, there's some people can pick on it. Women have the amazing intuition. They can pick things up just like this, usually twice as fast as a man can. They can get what it's all about. They know whether you're confident, you're not confident. They know whether you know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. You know, they know. How do they know? Talk about energy, women's intuition. That's energy all to himself. But this last point is that Kobe was able to do what we do in energy awareness training, to be able to create, to energize, to motivate, and uplift. And not only did he do that for himself, he did that everywhere he went. Everywhere he went, he uplifted the energies just by being who he was. Because he was in that frequency, he was able to transfer that frequency to other people. You know, I saw a video of him speaking to kids at the USC gym. I mean, the kids went nuts for him, like he was a rock star. You know, they just loved the guy so much. And everything he'd say, I mean, talk about having a crowd eating out of the palm of your hand. That's what they did for Kobe. Why? Because they felt his energy. They felt, here's a guy who knows where he's going. Here's a guy who's committed to excellence. Here's a guy who won't take any BS excuses. He wants to be the best. He wants to be extraordinary. And he wants to lift everybody else around him too. Did you know that he got into a fist fight with Shaquille O'Neal? A fist fight with Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Kobe's 6'6", but Shaquille's 7 foot, 300 pounds, right? I thought, oh my gosh, got into a fist fight with Shaq? How'd that happen? Kobe said, because I called Shaq out because he was dogging it. He wasn't giving 100%. And I called him on it. I says, you're lazy. I says, you're dogging it. You know, and he says, I let him have it. I let him get it. And, you know, I was trash talking him for good reason. And finally, when he grabbed me, he started swinging. You know, I started swinging, and luckily none of the blows connected. We were separated. And I didn't back down. I said, I'll take you on anywhere because the truth is on my side. I'm giving it 100%. We're giving it 100% here. And you're only giving 80%. That's not acceptable. You're big and you're lazy. And you need to step up your game. Can you imagine saying to Shaquille O'Neal, you got to step up your game, you lazy lug? Kobe said it to him, and he didn't like it. But you know what? After he stepped up and they won the finals, and after they won the finals, Shaq came up to Kobe and he said, thank you. Thank you for getting in my face. Thank you for calling me out. Thank you for reaching down and pulling out another part of me, another place of excellence that I wasn't using, that I didn't know that I had. You saw it and you pulled it out of me. And you identified that I was dogging it in some ways. He goes, I wasn't aware of it, but you pulled it out. And I didn't like it, and I hated you for it, and now I love you for it. Cool story, huh? The day that Shaq and Kobe got into a fist fight. So that's what he did. He raised the energy of everybody around him. That's what you call an influencer. Those are the greats. Whatever field that they're in, whether it's sports or whether it's music. Pavarotti was an influence. You know, he was a singer, an opera singer. Most people aren't into opera, but Pavarotti was so good, and he had so much energy and so much love in his heart that he pulled people into opera. He made people go. People said, I don't know what opera is, but if that guy's an opera singer, I want to find out about it. That's an influencer. That's somebody who transcends their occupation with so much high vibrational energy that it just pulls people in. They want to be a part of it. They love it. People just flock to them. You know, Nelson Mandela had that. You know, Oprah has that. People love Oprah. You know, they just love the energy that she is. Now, yeah, she's been on TV for a while, but she's been off, the mainstream TV. People love that. They love being around people who struggle, who have been down, who've been on the floor, who have been oppressed and have risen up to enormous amounts of success. And they transcend it. What does Oprah do now? She spends a lot of time, she spends most of her time now promoting things that uplift people. In her stories, she's actually on a lecture tour. I went to one of her seminars. That was a while back. Girlfriend I was going out with, she had an extra ticket, and she asked me if I wanted to go. I said, sure. You know, there were 20,000 people there and about 10 guys. It was mostly girls, but I'm glad I went. I'm glad I went to go see her, because when she walked on the stage, it was the same thing like Kobe. It transcended who they were and brought them to a whole nother level. And I'll never forget, you know, she was taking questions at the end. And it was like a love fest. It was just like a love fest for people. It was your crowd. You know, there's so much love going through there. This woman stood up and she said, Oprah, I just want to tell you, I've always admired your judgment on shoes. You wear the best shoes. And today I see the shoes you got on, and they are beautiful. And I just want to thank you and just acknowledge you for that. So, so what did Oprah do? She said to the woman, and this woman was in the back. This is the Shrine Auditorium in LA, huge theater. She's in the back of it. She says, "Come up to the stage. Come up to the stage." She said, "Right, come up to the stage." So everybody's going, "What's going to happen?" She's walking to the front, walking to the front, walking to the front. She gets and Oprah. She gets to the foot of the stage. And Oprah takes off her shoes and gives them to her. So, "Here you go. Hey, you like my shoes? Here you go." Now, the woman almost fainted. She was so happy, and the crowd just went nuts. Now, what was that about? It was about an influencer trying to uplift and love all the people around them. And that's what she did with this woman. You know, for Oprah, it's just another pair of shoes. But for this woman, you know, it made her day. So these are what the greats do. And I want to encourage you to be one of the greats. I'm trying to be one of the greats. I want to encourage you to be one of the greats. To be so good at what you do that you naturally, wherever you go and whatever you do, you uplift people. You inspire people to be their best. You remind them of what's good about them, about what's strong about them. And you get them out of looking at their weaknesses and their struggles, and you realign them to all that's good and the best part of us as people. That's the power. That's the power that we all want. And we all start wherever we're at, uplifting people with the kind word, with the hug. I uplift them with the flower sometimes, doing these broadcasts, anything that you can do to be of service and to take all that's good about you and share it with other people. And that's what Kobe did. And that's number 10, the ability to energize, motivate, uplift himself to create such a standard of excellence that he brought other people up there with him. So with that, let me just check the comments here. Glad you guys have joined me. And again, I do these broadcasts every Sunday. So please feel free to join me live about 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you like this and you enjoyed it, send it to a friend. Let's get the word out about energy awareness training. And I have a YouTube channel. You can get on there and subscribe and enjoy all the videos and the teachings there. If you need to reach me, please feel free to private messenger me. We have all kinds of courses and programs to teach people about energy awareness training and to be able to get from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. And I'm here to tell you, no matter what you're facing in life, no matter how challenged you may be, there's an energetic solution to what you're facing with. And when you use that, the problems clear up. So I remind everybody, nothing changes until energy moves. So that's what we've done today, and that's what we'll be doing this week. I want to wish you guys a great, happy, healthy Sunday, full of love and possibility. And lastly, I want to say, go Niners. All right, everybody, have a great day. Bye for now.